I'm sure Amy's ready to read.
Are you still saying something?
Okay, so on page 100, not 100, I'm kidding, it's on page 93. Carson starts with, first it was a process. I had to take care of my wound every single day, and though it didn't get better overnight, it did get a little better each day. I take a picture of it after every treatment, and I could never tell the difference from day to day. But if I looked at the pictures a time a week, I could see the wound becoming smaller and smaller. So he's talking about his process of healing his wound. So he says, first it was a process. Second, the adversity made me stronger. If I had sat around and done nothing to my leg, it would have never gotten better. But the daily scrubbing and aggravating made it bleed and promptly grow and stronger tissue. So then he has to overcome the adversity. And adversity means difficulties and misfortunes. So even though he's talking just about his leg wound, I feel like these processes are connected to his life. But when finally the wound process taught me perseverance. It was hard to change that bandage and scrub my leg 3 or 4 times a day, but I trusted in the process and knew it was what I needed to do to get better. So again, even though he's talking about his leg wound, it relates to just his life and being brought up and how he's overcoming he's overcoming all of the issues of the tornado and just the heartbreak, but he's doing it through these 3 processes. Okay, so first thing is on page 87. He says, to concentrate on the positive, not the negative. To live in vision, not circumstance. To be a blessing. So I feel like that relates to the first step, which is the process. So even though all of these bad things have happened to him, he's trying to work to get better, and he could focus on the negative and be like, oh, well, my girlfriend just passed away, and I lost my home, and just like completely crumble, but instead he's trying to strive forward, and he's just focusing on the positive, and he's just like, he wants to make this situation be better instead of worse. So 90. Again, on 92 and 93, he talks about being a blessing, and he reiterates to be a blessing a lot, and I feel like he does that so that we never forget to be a blessing. And even though we have bad stuff going on in our lives, there are people out there that have it worse, and so you should always strive to just do something to make that person's day feel better. So like if somebody's down, even if you're down on yourself, just reach out to that other person, because they could be in a worse situation than you. So even if you think that you have it bad, just try to help someone else. So adversity. Yeah. Okay, I feel like this quote goes with adversity and overcoming difficulties and misfortune. He says, during my entire rehabilitation process, I was forced to make a choice several times a day whether to focus on the positive or the negative, whether to work to get better or give in and get worse. Like Coach Carson used to tell us, the world is full of average. He'd always shout, who strives to be average? It's easy to be easy. And I feel like this is about, this quote reminds me of Coach Lippo. For all of you that know Coach Lippo, he's always saying, who wants to be average? Like, why do you want to be average? Like, go out there and be better than the person next to you. So I feel like him trying not to be average is him overcoming adversity, because adversity is difficulties and it is misfortune, whatever. But so being average is easy, and so why would you want to do that? So overcome adversity means overcoming the easy stuff and like push yourself to do better. And then also on 83, whenever he talks about everyone else that was in Birmingham for their surgeries, they were all overcoming adversity, and they were all going through adversity, so we had a lot in common. So I feel like it was good for him to be with all of these people, and for him to surround himself with people who strived for the same thing as him, and they strove to get better and to overcome their injuries to get back to whatever sport they were playing. But ultimately, they were all pushing each other to do better and to. It says that they were all big in Christ, and how they all would like tell each other Bible verses to, not influence, but
Support.
yeah, support each other. And then finally, perseverance on page 84. The Bible verse says, I've learned to be content in whatever circumstances I am in. I know both how to have a little and I know how to have a lot. And all in any circumstances, I've learned the secret of being content, whether well-fed or hungry, whether in abundance or in need. So I feel like that's just perseverance, because he's pushing through in everything. Like, he's overcoming everything that he is, and no matter what circumstance he's in. He's just persevering through it. Whether it's good or bad, he's persevering and he's finishing what he started. Also on 86 and 87, he's constantly saying to earn it. And there's a reason you're here, Carson. There's a reason Ashley isn't. Don't worry about what the reason is right now. Just know you're here for a reason and you have to earn it. Earn it. And then again, later in that paragraph, he says, your job now is to go and earn it. So Carson's constantly being reminded to earn why he's living on earth, because it could have been so easy for him to just like die in the tornado, but he didn't. And so now he needs to go out and he needs to earn it. And by earning it, he wants to be a blessing to everyone. And that's just amazing because, again, he could have just so easily like crumbled down and just kind of gotten depressed, but instead he overcame everything and he just went out there and was a blessing to everyone. And then also on 100, I think this is something that we all can definitely relate to. It's in the first paragraph. It says, being committed to something has nothing to do with ability, talent, or physical progress. It's all a mindset. How much does it mean to you? My vision meant everything to me. So I feel like that's just, like that right there is perfect for high school students, because being on a varsity team, like you might not be the best and you might not get the most playing time, but just because you're not the best doesn't mean that you can't be committed and that you can't outwork the person next to you. So just him being committed to getting better and getting back to football and getting back to a normal life just shows how strong of a person he is, and how like it should make us want to be stronger people because we didn't go through like what he's gone through. And then on 101, if I had to decide if I was going to make this a season to remember for all the right reasons. So a season to remember, that's what the book is titled. I don't know if any of y'all got that. Good. So I think that it's just awesome how he wants this season to be the best season that he's ever had, and it's because he wants to overcome everything that's happened to him, and he wants to come out and just show the world, like, yes, this tragedy has happened to me and the people around me, but we can overcome anything, and we can just beat it and do better.
Job, Ames.
Thanks.
Does anybody have any other quotes or highlighted things that maybe go along with it, or any stories to share with that? That was one thing others you were going to ask about. Any other things you want to talk about?
I really liked when Amy was talking about the quote where he said, when he said you have to decide on whether to focus on the positives or the negatives, because I think everybody can really relate to that right now, especially seniors, because we have to come to school in the morning, sports in the afternoon, and then I stay up till 11, 12 o'clock at night doing college applications. So if you choose to focus on those negatives, you're never going to get anything accomplished, and you're going to kind of stay in one place. So you got to focus on those positives every day and keep moving forward. And I think that linked really well with this quote on page 99, where he kind of says, I will not let these events determine my future. That's it's a bit of a paraphrase, and I think that goes along with not being able to focus on the negatives, because you have to see those negatives that come your way and decide that you will not let those events determine what you're going to do with your future, and it's all up to you on how you move forward in your own life. So I thought that was really applicable to what we're going through right now.
Yeah, especially me, like yesterday I didn't have such a great day in weightlifting, but this morning like I came in there and I was like, all right, I'm going to do better today. So like I didn't let yesterday's like not so greatness define today, and Coach LeBeau noticed that, and this morning was like, way to come out this morning and like hit it hard and like make up for yesterday. So I mean, I think we can all do that in our life, no matter what it is.
That's actually one thing that we talked about last night. I talked with Amy, was what Michael, you were saying with everything that, especially seniors, not juniors aren't doing the same thing, but we talked about being IB, being in sports, being in, Link, athletic. I mean, the list can go on and on, but I see the same people, and we talked about this before. You guys are hanging out with those same people. You guys hang out with each other. You're hanging out with people that are just as motivated, driven, that see that end goal of college, where I'm going to go to next, the success I'm going to take, with the next step. And especially with you juniors, and I said it to my volleyball team, what big shoes to fill for next year, juniors. I have never, since I've been here, seen a more motivated senior class that just does not let those things get to them. Like, how easy would it be just to moan and complain all the time about what you guys are involved in, but you don't. Like, you are successful at everything that you guys do, and it's like 10 things. Not just one thing that you're successful at, it's 10 things. But, you know, juniors especially, like, that should just be not something like you're scared of, but that should be, I want to be like that, and I want to be better than that. Because I think definitely the seniors this year, like, you've made our school better. The school is so much more better because you guys have really pushed everybody to make it a better place, you know. So I think it's a legacy the seniors have left, but definitely, you know, a process for the juniors to kind of take under and try to continue it, make it better for next year. So, any other quotes that you guys have, or verses, pages? No? That's okay. Okay, so the next chapters are a little shorter, so we're gonna do 10, 11, and 12. So for the 12, next person volunteer to read it.
I'll do it.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Alright. Okay, so for